of leaving meth out in the...
Let's welcome the first and hopefully not last guest of the stream. The one and the only, the Lorax. How you doing, mate?
Hello. What's up?
Yeah, not much. Can't complain. Just thought I'd duck in, do a quick stream, keep some people entertained.
Yeah. Oh, wow. My camera seems to be off center this morning.
That's all right. Every time so for anyone that doesn't know, to protect my privacy just in case, whenever I stop my stream, I put the camera cover on. But every time I do it, I knock it. So I'm almost never in the same place. That's when I start.
I'm just fat. I sit in the chair and then it slowly sinks down as time goes by. So.
My chair in my office does that. I sit in the chair and it just it'll just be ever so often. I'll just move slightly and I'll just go.
Yeah. Wow. My mic, like me, is super hot right now. Hang on. Let me bring down my gain a little bit here. Okay. Well, how are you this morning?
Good. I'm well rested. I may or may not have had a chemically induced sleep last night, so I got a good 8 hours. So that was, it's always interesting going into these ones, because I mean the last one of these that I didn't actually really sleep the night before, and I think that's why it hurt. So,
see, I don't know what I'm going to do when I do my 24-hour stream, because I never sleep. Well, I sleep. I get like 4.5 hours a night. That's kind of about average.
Mm-hmm. Sounds about right.
I mean, I would love to sleep more, but I'm doing this crap all the time.
Well, it's just so much fun. Admittedly, this gets addictive. We know this. We know that streaming is legitimately a bug. Once you start doing it, you can't really pull yourself back from it.
I mean, in fairness, I never slept my entire life. I've just never slept much. I mean,
We've
I remember
had kids
being
too, so you know how that works.
Yeah. Well, I remember being 4 and 5 years old myself. My mom putting me down for a nap, and I'm just sitting there staring at the wall until she tells me it's time to get up. But God, like now that I'm in my 50s, what? Go to your room and take a nap? That's not a punishment. That's what I'm longing for the entire day. Please, can I? Go to your room and take a nap. All right.
Yeah, fine.
Please, may I have another?
It's like Scarlet. So, little lady Overlaw'd, she tries to explain her late bedtime routine to us by saying, "I don't go to sleep when it's dark out. I go to sleep when the sun comes up."
Rock on, little girl.
I'm just like, no, that's when you go to daycare and mommy and daddy get a rest.
American dreamer, have more sex, you'll sleep better. That's why I'm sleeping late. I finished streaming and then I got to knock boots. But that's why I'm going. I'm leaving.
I was going to say,
speaking
of, what's the plan for this camping trip? How are you?
I'm just going out and being a man. That's all. Throwing my stuff in the Jeep. I'm leaving in about 45 minutes, so I got a good 30 minutes here. And then just gonna head up the coast. There's a little foresty area that's right across the street from the ocean. Just to throw the tent up. I've got a 1.5 kilogram steak, big tomahawk steak, so about 3 pound steak. And I'm gonna cook it like a man. That's what I'm gonna do.
So over a fire, and then
just throw salt on it, throw pepper on it, stick it over the fire, grill that thing up about 5 minutes on each side, throw a sweet potato in the coals with some corn on the cob, and just eat it like a man. Just tear into that beast. And
Ginger, I'm going to say no, because he's going to be cooking a steak like a man. So,
oh no, I'll be there with a woman. I'll be camping with a woman who knows, who likes 3 pounds of man meat.
Okay.
Just saying. Yeah. I will be with a lady. Yes, that's true. That was a little delayed gratification there.
Yeah, I don't know why. The Stream Deck's not working, so I'm having to
Oh yeah, mine
do the sound
too.
effects manually.
Yeah, well, my they must have updated too, because I'm just looking and my regular sounds are there, but the Stream Deck sounds, they're all starred out. So whatever.
Yeah, no, I think there was an update that went through. Hang on, let me try something.
How about new?
Oh, apparently now
Yes.
it's working.
Well, no, those work, but like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
No, Lady Vices, no. We will never have another one of those.
Okay, so I wanted to ask you, because
Okay.
I know how much you are hating that melee trial, okay?
It's getting good now. It got good yesterday. But
I wanted
still
to ask
sucks.
about the moron with the mask.
Yes, the super secret undercover ninja cop. Yeah.
Who stood outside the courthouse without wearing it for an hour.
2
2 hours. Okay.
Plus sat in front of the courtroom door while everyone was filing in and walking in and out, and yeah.
Yeah, so it's not as if anybody would ever be able to identify him from his...
No way.
Okay.
That guy. Well, it's not. I mean, he's just doing his thing. It's it was a bad ruling from an otherwise very, very, very good judge.
Okay.
Because we have that beautiful thing, the Sixth Amendment, that guarantees us in America the right to confront your accuser, and a witness is considered an
Sorry, I've
accuser.
got to have one mini rant here just so that we can clarify.
Rant.
Guys, yesterday, someone in chat got very upset because they thought I didn't know what I was talking about a particular law. One thing that people in chat need to keep in mind, when I'm talking about laws and how certain things interact, I may not be talking about your jurisdiction. Okay? Specifically, I know we were talking about copyright, and that copyright with ChatGPT and whatnot, I understand that has already been settled in the US because of the monkey case, okay? The monkey selfie, and how only a human being can have copyright in works. That is specifically not the case in the UK. They actually have made the legislation so that there is an exception to that, and it automatically attributes to whoever is inputting the data into the AI or the engineers. Here in Australia, it is still up for grabs. They are still going through it in court. So I just need to specify, people, if you don't like what I'm saying, if you think I don't know what I'm talking about, I'm probably not talking about your jurisdiction. Okay? So let's just keep that in mind.
That is such a thing. Americans and Brits just sort of think the entire frickin' world revolves around them. And that's why dealing with English lawyers is such a pain in my ass. Because it's always that. It's like, well, have your court order this. Well, Korean courts don't order that. Well, the English courts said that the Korean court has to do this. Like, well,
So?
you know what the Korean court's going to say? They're going to say, just tell the English court to go fuck right off. It's just that it's like, well, this is us, and therefore your little worshiping bundles of sticks and living in grass huts on the side of the hill, third world country should follow England. Like, no.
No, that's not how it works. Yeah, so sorry, I just wanted to get that out of the way. Ginger with the Soul's got a serious question here. The fact that he was outside the courthouse...
no place for that. No serious questions allowed.
Well, look, we're within the first, say, 12 hours, so this is when I've got to get the serious stuff out of the way, because after that, I'm just going to go downhill. I already know that. The fact that he was outside the courthouse without a mask, how would someone who works undercover testify without blowing the cover? That was what I was going to ask you, because I was positing that the most straightforward way to do this would be, at least without intimidating the juror, would be to have him appear from a adjacent courtroom, pixelated face, modulated voice, whatever. I get that the whole protecting his safety and that sort of thing, they could have cleared the courtroom. That wouldn't have been that much of an issue.
That's it.
There are so many different ways that they could have done this. So, like, what was the actual reasoning behind the...
He allegedly has a $50,000 bounty on his head, and he fears for the safety of his family. Well, one, how do we know he has a $50,000 bounty on his head? Well, he told us he does.
Because that's in no way going to identify him in the middle of a courtroom.
Well, I mean, aside from that, is he told it's a cop. A cop is telling you he's doing something. It's a lie. I mean, why would I have to believe this cop that he has a $50,000 bounty on his head? He's an undercover cop that deals with motorcycle gangs and whatnot. But why? And see, that's what I do. As someone who was the president of a motorcycle club or a bikey club, as you call them down there.
Wait, no. There's actual specific wording for that. Illegal criminal association.
Yeah. Okay. 5 years ago, they were bikey clubs.
Yep.
Before you outlawed everything, because it's not America, they can do that. They can outlaw anything they want. As someone who was the president of a motorcycle club, you don't. Hypothetically, you would never take out a bounty on someone. You would take care of business yourself.
Yeah.
You wouldn't pay if you have a vendetta against someone. You wouldn't pay someone to do it for you because they would get all the credit for doing it. You would take care of business.
Yeah, and then you'd be seen as unable to take care of your own business, and that of itself has a detriment to your own reputation. And then maybe someone who is a rival to you may think about removing you from the equation.
Yeah. Well, good morning, Spazzy Yoda. Jeez. The other thing is he said, I'm not afraid for myself. I'm afraid for my family, the safety of my family. How the fuck do we know he has a family?
We don't. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Why are you gay?
Thank you, Just Cause, for the $2. Wagner PMC claiming to now invade Russia since ATK. Okay.
Attack?
I assumed it was attack, but I wasn't sure because I don't follow the Russia-Ukraine stuff too closely because I reckon my head would explode.
Know.
No, exactly.
Because the vast majority of my friends here are Russian and Ukrainian, and my best friend, they're a couple. He's from Russia and she's from Ukraine, so it's just makes
that must make for some fun conversation.
Well, he's very much on the Ukraine side because
Oh, really?
Every day is a risk that he gets called up for duty. So he doesn't really want to
do that if you're in another country.
No, but his business is dealing with Russia, so he has to go back to Russia occasionally. He went back several months ago, like not too long out. Well, I guess about the midpoint so far is about 6 months ago. I guess he went back. He got there, and that's when they started talking about conscription and calling up all the old retired people and and everyone under 35. And he's like, "Whoa, I guess I better go back to Korea." He got on the ferry from Vladivostok to Korea, and when he arrived, he found out that they conscripted people from his area about 30 minutes after his boat left.
No shit.
Yeah, he
dodged that bullet quite literally.
Yeah. Yeah. He was like, yeah, I turned my phone on, and because you're out in the middle of the ocean, you don't get cell service. I turned my phone on, and my girlfriend was just freaking the F out because she wasn't able to get a hold of me, and she knew that this order had gone down right about the time that I was supposed to leave. Like, yeah, that must have caused her some angst for a few hours.
Yeah, I can understand that. Holy crap. So what was I going to say? So there's
the mask guy. We're still talking about him, or are we done? Oh, okay.
No, look, we can move on.
Oh no, I was just wondering. So yeah, I was just asking. I can talk about that. Like I said, we don't know there's a bounty on him. How do we know there's a bounty? He said so. We don't know if he has a family. We don't know if there's any danger to his family. He's just saying that.
Exactly, and we're expected to take his word for it based on the fact that he is a police officer, which, as bad as it sounds, wearing that mask, we can't even verify that.
Well, and the judge, he said right before everybody came back in, he said, I can't refuse the media because they'll call their lawyers down. It'll be a big stink, and it's a pain. So we can't do anything with it. Okay, I'll give him that. I'll give him that. Just assume that he doesn't want to get into a scrap with the media's lawyers about whether or not they have a right to be there. We'll give them that. Put them there. You have options, like you said. One, which makes the most sense, clear the courtroom. Get the gallery out, so it's the judge, the jury, the witness, the defendant. and that's it.
Yeah,
And then
it makes the most sense.
Then don't show him. You know, I mean, the camera anyway was from the neck down.
Mhm.
So what's the difference? You just don't have the people there. He gets to take his mask off, and you get to evaluate him. You get to see his face. You get to see, his reactions.
Whoa! We've just had. Hang on.
What'd we do?
We have 2 guests that have popped in right at the same time.
Oh yeah,
Welcoming Mr. the one, the only, the law of self-defense himself, Andrew Branca.
Andrew
Hey,
Branca. Good evening.
And
Can you hear me?
our one and
We
truly
can.
friend of the
Okay,
show,
good. New microphone.
Lux.
What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing?
Oh wait, this proves they're not the same person. They're both here at the same time.
Wait, that was a thing?
No,
Okay.
they're just both so devilishly handsome.
Hey.
Well, thank you so much for coming. Andrew, I know that you had a day planned out today, so thank you specifically for popping in. Wow, okay, so...
Andrew, you look very trimmed and sharpened up today.
Well, let's see. You guys can hear me okay? You have good audio?
Yeah.
Yes.
I've got new headphones, so they're not working properly. I can't hear myself.
fair enough.
Yeah, off work Friday afternoon. Week's done.
Nice.
So in the basement of the Casablanca.
I like that. Jim's been trying to get me to...
Oddly, that's what Koreans sound like when they sing that song in the karaoke room, Casablanca.
Oh.
I'm not being racist. That's just what happened. Go ahead, come on over and find out. It's the truth.
Nice.
Jim's been trying to get this to my attention a couple of times. Apparently, there's something about Coy v. Iowa. Judge said made a reversible error for allowing the balaclava wearing cop to testify.
It is definitely an appealable issue because that is a sacred right to confront your accuser and putting this guy in a mask.
And might I just say that from a layperson's perspective, that juror that stood up and said this is inappropriate, thank you so much.
Yeah, there was a juror that she sent messages to the judge saying, I can't deal with this. I'm having a panic attack. I witnessed a robbery with a guy wearing a mask, and I think this is inappropriate.
Interesting.
Yeah. So there's already one juror for the defense.
I personally feel like that's highly inappropriate. Like that's as an American citizen, your number one right is, at least from a layperson, it's like, oh yeah, you can always face your accuser. That's the thing, is you always face your accuser.
And how is a jury supposed to evaluate demeanor and credibility?
Exactly.
Right?
They see his eyes.
We read people from their faces. That's what we do.
Well, that was the whole thing during COVID was masks. That's why they built all the glass walls, the glass shields, and plexiglass stuff so that they could take off their masks safely. This guy, he sat in the parking lot of the court without his mask on for 2 hours. He sat out in front of the courtroom itself without his mask on for however long, while everybody filed past him as they went on breaks and as they went in the courtroom.
That's what's so insane about it to me.
And he put it on to walk into the courtroom.
If it was actually an issue for him, he should have been sequestered. I'm sorry. Have him stuck in a room for however long he needs to be, stick him in the library for whatever it matters, and just clear the courtroom for when he needs to testify. That's all that needed to happen.
To me, it feels like they don't think he might necessarily get caught on these charges. And this guy's still assigned to these gang units, so they don't want Melly himself to be able to see him. I think they want to hide his face from the defendant, and that's why they're fighting so hard.
And that's exactly why you're not allowed to do it.
Exactly. And they're using the guise of, oh, I'm not afraid for my life. I'm just afraid for my family.
Yeah. And we don't even know he has a family. I'm just enraged by the whole thing.
Then don't be a cop in a gang unit.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
and you know the prosecution wanted scary guy in a mask to show, ooh, this is so serious. He's not the only cop in the state of Florida that can testify as a gang expert. There's more than one of those. And I bet at least one of them doesn't have to wear a mask. They purposely got some guy that wanted a mask. He's a new guy. When they deposed him, he had never testified in court as an expert in gangs before. And between that time and now, he's testified, I think he said 6 times. And the last 2 were with masks. But just because you wore a mask in somebody else's courtroom doesn't mean you get to wear a mask in this courtroom. And like the camera was below his neck anyway. The camera, turn the camera off. Show the stupid seal like they do in every other courtroom.
We've spent so many hours of trials staring at the ceilings that we know exactly how many tiles are on that roof. Okay,
Yeah,
because they did that so many times during the Triple X case because it's the same damn courtroom. I know that for a fact. All they've done is slot the judge's name out. And the other thing is, someone in chat mentioned it earlier as well, that it was deliberately done with the mask because, big scary cop who's scared for his family, all this sort of stuff. And from that, we're getting the inference that this guy was involved in gang-related violence.
Yep.
And that I think is a little bit more heavy.
Did you hear what he said when the defense asked him, like, okay, well, why couldn't I do that? Like, why does it make you the expert? And he goes, well, I can relate more. That was his answer, was I can relate more.
But he watched
because I studied gangs more.
Well, and he testified he watched YouTube videos on gangs too.
Oh, God.
You know, other than that, though, this is a fantastic judge. And in this Melly case, the 2 defense lawyers are phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
They are amazingly good. The weird, creepy, She-Hulk lurch-looking woman that sits next to the right of the defendant.
His handler.
Ludo.
It is. It's Ludo from Labyrinth, but she's not so good. She's just weird and creepy. But
I think, is she only there to talk about the cell phones?
I think so. I hope so, because she's just weird.
Well, I mean,
did you see that thing that was going around, Andrew, where she was? I mean, she's been giggling and laughing and talking to her